Good evening, Umang. Good evening, Chavi.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Chavi. So today you have the second class also at 7 p.m. so that the sir can revise the chapter data handling. It will be 1 hour class.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Chavi?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So let us wait for the others also to join.
I'm here on mute.
Aryan and Arav,
Yes, ma'am.
today you have the second class, the other class at 7 p.m. for the data handling. Okay,
Oh,
that will be like through the other link I have shared already in the group.
okay, sure.
Aaron, do you want that ma'am should revise from your book? Then send me the PDF, okay? So that I can ask ma'am to actually take from your book.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because you, Arav, and Arya has the same, right? So it is specially kept for you so that you can have the practice of it. Because I think in your syllabus it is there.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want, then share me the PDF after my class so that I can share with ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Now, okay, let us start because we cannot wait further. According to the revision, today we are going to start with the revision of the chapter which is nutrition in plant, chapter number 1. In this chapter, it's like very basic chapter of the grade 7, wherein about the plants are there, the autotrophic, the heterotrophic two modes are there, and what are the other types of the plants, who gets the energy or who gets the nourishment, how do they get it. So all those things we will be discussing in this chapter. Let me share the screen. Hmm. Mm, Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So first thing is the nutrition. See, we are generally, entering into the main topic without understanding what is the definition of nutrition. When we talk about the nutrition, it is basically a process. So it is not only one thing, but it includes a serial or steps of, some process, some steps are there. So it's a kind of the process wherein we will be taking of food and not only taking it and then utilizing of it. So it's a process by which we will be taking the food and then using that food. Now, why we have to use the food? We have to use it for the growth. We have to use to get the energy. We have to use to develop our body. We also have to use to repair these cells. So whatever cells get damaged in our body, we have to repair them by using the process called as a nutrition. So nutrition is a process of intake of nutrients like the carbohydrate, fats, protein, vitamins, and water by the organism, as well as utilization of these nutrients by the organism. And why they have to utilize it? For the growth, development, to get energy, and also to repair the damaged cells. So that is what the nutrition is. And when we talk about the nutrient, they are the substance in which the organism will be obtaining the food from the surrounding, and then they will be using the source of energy for the formation of the body constituents. Essential element, it is said to be essential if it is fulfill the following criteria. Now, something is important for our body. Why we are saying that it is important? So, how do we say that? So for that, the elements are important. In our body, we have the certain types of the elements. Elements like we have the sodium, we have the potassium, we have the magnesium, calcium, sulfur. All these are the elements. So all these elements, they play different roles in our body. Like you are taking the salt. So salt contains the iodine in it. Salt contains the sodium. It also contains the chlorine. So they will be helping for the protection of the from the protection of the disease called as goiter. Same way, we are taking the iron in the form of the spinach from the green vegetable, so that iron will be increasing our hemoglobin in our body. So elements, basically, they are essential for the normal growth and reproduction, and plant cannot proceed its life without these elements. So if the plants are not getting these elements, they cannot grow and they cannot work further. The requirement of the element must be specific and they cannot be replaced by any other element. So if I am thinking that I should not take the iron, if I don't take the iron, I cannot get the same quality, same characteristic from the other element. So one element will be working in a one way only. So it's a major element. The requirement must be direct, that is not the result of any indirect effect. Every organism take in oxygen and give out the CO2 during the process of respiration. This oxygen then enter in the cell for the oxidation. So this is done where in the mitochondria of the cell. So we animals or we humans, what we are taking the oxygen and we are releasing the gas CO2. And this CO2 gas will be used by the plants. So that is how the mode of nutrition in the plants are of two types: autotrophic, where they will be preparing their own food, and heterotrophic, they will be depending on the others. And under the category of the heterotrophic, there are the four types: parasitic, saprophytic, symbiotic, and the insectivorous. Now, starting with the autotrophic nutrition, auto means self, trophic means nutrition. So both combine together as a self nutrition. When organisms make their food from the simple inorganic substance like the H2O and carbon dioxide, then it is called as autotrophic nutrition. So in this, the complex kind of the process is not happening. It's a very simple process where the plants will be using the carbon dioxide, they will be using the water, light, and they will be using the energy to prepare the food. All green plants are the autotroph, and that is the reason they are also called as producers. So why the green plants are called as the autotroph? Because they produce the food.
On
They
their
can
own,
make their
ma'am.
own food. Yes, they can make their own food by themselves by the process of the photosynthesis. That is why they are called as autotroph. Now, in that category also, we have the two different types of the autotrophs. The first one, photoautotroph, where these plants, what they will be using, they will be using the sunlight for preparing the food. For example, plants, algae, purple, red, and the green bacteria. So some bacteria, they will be using the light. Photo means light, autotroph means preparing themselves. So by using the light, they will be preparing the food. The second category is chemoautotroph. In the case of the chemoautotroph, instead of depending on the light, they will be using the chemical energy for preparing the food. For example, nitrifying bacteria. You might have heard the word rhizobium, right? Rhizobium, they will be there in the roots of the plants. So this rhizobium bacteria, what do they do? Instead of
Ma'am, they like mix the nitrogen with water soluble minerals so that the plants can take them from the soil.
yeah,
And they're like nitrate.
correct. Okay, so they are present in the legumes of the roots of the leguminous plant, and through that they will be converting certain chemical compounds of the nitrogenous into the other compounds and all, so that the plants can use it. So soluble form, they will be making it and converting it so that the plants can make use of them. The second one are the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, where hetero means the other, the trophos means nourishment, depending on the others for their nourishment. So the mode of nutrition in which organism obtain food from plant or other animals, they are called as a heterotrophic nutrition. Where some plants, since they do not have what? They do not have the green color pigment called as chlorophyll, so they cannot prepare their own food. That is the reason they have to depend. Like for example, you, everybody, we are dependent on the others. Others means it can be the animal, it can be the plant also. Why I'm saying the animal? Because from the animal we get the milk. From the animal we get the other source also, other food items also. Whereas in the plants we get the spices, we get the other stuffs and all. So either the plant, either the animal, somehow we are dependent on them. Such non-green plant can include the fungus, some bacteria, and also some flowering plants as well. So these heterotrophic are further divided into parasitic, saprophytic, symbiotic, and the insectivorous plants. Parasitic, they are basically the non-green plants. They obtain their food from the other green plants, which are called as a parasitic. So in them, what happened? There are the two terms, the host and the parasite. So two organisms will be included in this. The host will be there on which the parasites will be getting the nourishment from. So the plant which provide the food is they are called as the host, and they are the parasitic plant. What do? They develop the special root so that they can absorb the food. And these special roots are called as hostoria. So in your exam, they ask about the hostoria. So basically, parasitic plants, what do? They develop these special roots so that they can absorb more amount of the food. Such roots are called as the hostoria. You might have seen the hanging roots will be there on some of the parasitic plant. They are the hostoria. Hostoria penetrates the host tissue and reaches the vascular bundles, which are the xylem and phloem. So these roots, what do? They will be reaching to the xylem and phloem so that the more amount of the food and the water they can absorb. These parasitic, they are two types, total parasitic plant and the partial parasitic plant. In the total parasitic, they will be completely dependent on the host, whereas in the partial, these plants have green leaf and they can prepare their food, but sometimes they depend on the host plant so that they can get the water and mineral. So this examples generally they ask up in the Olympiad exam. So total parasitic plant, the Cascata and Amabil, they are completely dependent on the host. Then Epidendis and the Rafflesia. Rafflesia is the largest flower in the world. And then partial parasitic plant, who will be depending partially on the host, are the Mistiletto and the sandalwood. Am I clear till here, children? Himang, Chavi, Aryan, Arya, Arav, Nishika.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
the next one are the saprophytic. Saprophytic, what do? They will be getting their nourishment from dead and decay organic matter. So whatever the dead and decay organic matter will be there, they will be feeding on them and they will be converting them into the soluble form of it. Now, once they
Ma'am,
are being, yeah, tell me.
ma'am, so like they cannot prepare their own food and they are dependent on other host.
Correct. So they are not the host actually. They are not called as the host because they are not only dependent on some certain kind of the plants or the animals. They are only dependent on the dead. Anything dead. Be it the humans, be it any kind of the animal, be it any kind of the plant. So anything they can get it, they can take it, they can convert them. The only thing is it should be dead so that they can use it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So, yeah, these plants obtain their food from the dead and decaying matter of the animals and plants. Example, fungus. Now, these fungus, mushrooms, some bacteria, what happen wherever they find that something dead is there, they will be sitting on them. That is why we can't see. If any dead animal is there, if any kind of the microbes like saprophytic organism, they comes and sit on them, we cannot see. But After some time, when that organism disappear, then we'll get to know that yes, some kind of the microbe was working on it. You might have seen, like, when you throw the fruit peels on the roads or wherever, after some time that will be turning into the black color, and that peel later on will be, not be there. That is because of the microorganisms, because they will be coming, they will be sitting, they will be feeding, and then they will be converting them into the useful nutrients. Fungi appears as a green, white, or brown colored patches. Microscopically, they show thread-like structure called as hyphae. If you see the fungus under the microscope, they looks like this, a kind of the very thin thread-like structure they will be looking like. The fungus, they will be secreting the digestive juices. They will be feeding on the dead and decay organic matter, and then they convert them into the solution. Some useful fungus are the food, like mushroom as a useful. In the bakery, they will be using the yeast. They are useful for making the medicine. They will be using the penicillium, which is again the useful one. Now, the same fungus can be harmful also. If we have the other different types of the fungus which produces the diseases in the plants, like rust, rust of wheat, smut in wheat, ringworm in the animal. Then some mushrooms are poisonous also. So it's not like every kind of the mushroom we can take it, we can eat it. No, some mushrooms are poisonous. So fungus can be useful also, fungus can be harmful also, depending upon the variety what we are using actually. Then third one, symbiotic relationship, where the mutual relationship will be there between two organisms. It is like we are talking with each other. You are giving me something, I am returning you something. So we are, with our confirmation, we are sharing the things and all. So mutual relationship between two organisms in which both the organisms are benefited and they share shelters and nutrients. These organisms are called as a symbiomes. So algae and fungus, these are the two organisms. What do? They live together. Now, in the case of the algae can prepare the food because they have the chlorophyll. But in the case of the fungus, they cannot prepare the food because they are heterotrophic in nature. But the fungus, what do they have? They have the shelter to live. But algae, they do not have the shelter to live. So both the organisms have one thing. So what do? They will come close together, and finally, with their mutual understanding, the algae will be giving food to the fungus, and fungus in return will be giving the place to the algae so that they can live and they can survive. They can make the food. So this is what the symbiosis, where both the organisms are getting the benefit. So certain fungus live in the roots of the trees. The plants provide nutrients to the fungus, and fungus help the plant to take up water and nutrients from the soil. Lichens are symbiotic association between the algae and fungus. So when this algae and fungus, they live together, that is called as lichen. If they are living separately, they are called as algae and they are called as fungus. But when they join together, we call them as a lichens, in which fungus provide shelter, water, and mineral to the algae, and algae provide food to the fungus by the photosynthesis process. Lichens are also termed as a pollution indicator as they cannot survive in air polluted sulfur dioxide condition. So wherever the air is being polluted by the sulfur dioxide condition, they cannot survive. The lichens cannot survive. And the last type of it is the insectivorous plants, where some plants can trap insects and they will be digesting them to obtain nitrogen. So since this plant, they lack in the nitrogen, so what happened? They have to get the nitrogen from the other kind of the source, other kind of the organism. So these plants are green, but they found in nitrogen deficient soil. So they grow at a place where the nitrogen is not present. So these plants, what do? They will be trapping insects, and then they will fulfill their nitrogen requirement. For example, pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, sundew, bladderwort, they are the example of the insectivorous. Now here, they will have a kind of the structure. This is like the lid kind of the structure they will have, where a flap will be there. Now, as soon as any kind of the insect enter here at the top of this mouth of the pitcher, this flap will get closed and the hair will be present inside the picture, because of which the organism will or the insect will get entangled. And when insects get entangled, there will be kind of the juice here called as the digestive juice, because of which they start digesting that insect. And when they digest them, they'll get the nitrogen through it. So that is how it will be working. So in picture plant, leaf is modified into the picture. Leaf apex form a lid which helps in the opening and closing of the picture. Inside picture, downward directly, they are the hair present, which does not let the insect to come out. It's a kind of the net-like structure, a kind of, the trapping kind of system, where once any kind of the insect come, they do not allow them to go out. When insect sits on the opening of the picture, it slips down and it's trapped by the hairs, and then lids will get closed and insect will be digested by the digestive juices. So these are the four types of the heterotrophic organisms. So any doubt, children, in this?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Nishika, Himang, Charvi, Arya, Arav, Aryan.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am, we don't have
No,
any doubt.
ma'am.
Okay. And the last one, very important one, is the photosynthesis process, which is autotrophic process in which the plants will be preparing their food in the presence of the sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and chlorophyll. So this is how the diagram, this is actually only the part of the diagram they have taken, but when they ask you to draw in the exam, you have to draw the complete diagram where you will have a plant, then you will have a leaf, the carbon dioxide is entering inside, the O2 is going outside, then there should be the water here. So like this, the radiation should be there. Everything you need to draw. I'll explain you this from here. So light is there. The chlorophyll is already present in the leaf. Two things are over now, water and carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide is coming from the air to the leaf, and the water, they will be getting it from the through these roots by the absorption process. So roots, they will be absorbing the water and they will be sending it to the stem, and stem will be giving it to the leaf. So that is how all the components, light, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water, they will combine and they form what? They form the glucose, and also they release the oxygen gas. This is the complete equation of it. Carbon dioxide, 6CO2 plus 12H2 of the water. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it gives the glucose. So this is the glucose, C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. That is how it will be formed. Now for this, the main four things as I told you are the sunlight, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll, and what is the one more here? Water. So
Ma'am,
these are the
water,
four basic,
H2O.
yes, water, H2O. So these are the four basic things what they require. Now this sunlight will be coming from the sun, which will be giving the energy for the photosynthesis process. Carbon dioxide will be coming from the air, which we will be releasing and they will be using it, or they will be taking it through the stomata. Then chlorophyll is already present in the leaf, in the chloroplast cell. And besides, sometimes, see, we are learning only the chlorophyll green pigment. Apart from the chlorophyll, there are the other pigments also which the plants they have. And these are carotenes. Carotenes are basically orange in color. So you might have seen the carrots are orange in color. It is due to the pigment called as a carotene. So this carotene presence gives them the orange color. Then xanthophylls. Xanthophylls are the orange yellow in color, like corns, sweet corns you're eating, corns you're eating. They are what? They are the slightly orange yellow in color. That is because of the presence of pigment called as a xanthophyll. Then phycobilins, they are the different in colors, like the red, violet. They are present in the algae, which is the red algae, brown algae. They all will have this. Because of them, they'll get the red color, violet color, brown color, and all. And the last one is the water. They will be getting it from the soil through the roots, and then they will be giving it to the leaves. Apart from that, the vascular tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. So this xylem, what do? They transport the water from the roots to the stem and then to the leaves. Finally, when the leaves will get the water, they will start making the food. Same way, the phloem, what do? The phloem, they transfer the food. Now, from where to where they have to transfer the food? From up to down or down to up?
Ma'am, is it to the upper parts?
Yes. See, what happens where the food is being formed? In the leaf. Now from the leaf, the ulta direction we have to go. So leaves will be giving the food to the stem will be giving it to the roots, and roots then will be using them for the further process. So in the case of the xylem, the water will be coming through the roots, then to the stem, and then to the leaves for the preparation of the food. But in the case of the phloem, there will be the food, they will be transferring it from the leaves to the stems and then to the route. So these are the two types of the transportation system they will have. The plants will have. One is for the transportation of the water and the other one is for the transportation of the food. So that is how both the things, food as well as the water, are being transported. The Now there is kind of the experiment which is called as a destarching the leaf. Destarching the leaf means to remove the color of the leaf and then to test it whether the leaf has a starch in it or not. So destarching means to remove the starch from the leaf and to test the presence or the absence of the starch in them. For that, what we need to do, we have to take a plant and we have to keep it in the cupboard, dark cupboard, for 48 hours. And when we keep it in the dark cupboard for 48 hours, why we are keeping it? So that the leaves cannot make the starch during that period. So during this 48 hours, the leaves, when they are kept, the potted plants, when they are kept in the dark, they will not be preparing the starch. Any starch that is present in the leaf will be converted to glucose and they will be used or transported to the other parts of it. So within this 48 hours, what happened? No new kind of the food will be prepared, and whatever the food which is already there will be used by the plant. Then we will be keeping that destarched plant to sunlight. So after keeping it 48 hours in the dark, we have to keep it in the light for 4 to 6 hours to make sure that the photosynthesis occurs. And then the green leaf is then placed in the boiling water until it's soft. So that green leaf we have to take out and we have to boil it in the water so that it becomes soft. The boiling water breaks down the cell wall and membrane so that iodine solution can penetrate. So why we are boiling that leaf, why we are making it soft, so that the wall which is present in the leaf, it can break down and easily the iodine solution, what we are going to use, it can go inside and it can give us the result. The boiled leaf is then put into the test tube with alcohol. Now, why they are boiling in the alcohol second time? It is because whatever the kind of the chlorophyll is present in the leaf, it can remove. So as to remove the chlorophyll, they are using the alcohol. They are boiling in the alcohol. And this process is called as decolorization. It means to remove the color of the leaf. So the boiled leaf is then put into a test tube with alcohol and then into the water bath so that the chlorophyll can be dissolved and it can be extracted out. The leaf is then washed in the cold water before we test it. Then after that, we have to add a few drops of the iodine solution and then we have to wait and see what happens to it. Now the iodine solution colors the leaf blue-black, indicating the presence of starch. So since we kept the plant again in the sunlight, what happened? 48 hours, they have used the complete amount of food. But again, when we kept in the sunlight, they started preparing the food and ultimately they tested positive for the starch by turning themselves into the blue-black color. So this is how it is being done. Then next one, how does the production of the plant food other than the carbohydrate like amino acid and protein is being done? So plants synthesize carbohydrate by the process of photosynthesis. So we know through the photosynthesis process, they will be making the carbohydrate which is called as glucose. But apart from that, there will also be requirement of the protein and fats by the plant. So how do they produce it? So proteins are the building block of all living organisms, which will be help for the growth, repair, and regeneration. They contain the nitrogen, which cannot be absorbed by the plant directly. And now, how they will be doing it? Indirectly with the help of the rhizobium bacteria. So in soil, there are certain bacteria like rhizobium bacteria, nitrobacteria, azobacteria, and which will be helping them to convert the gaseous nitrogen into the usable form of it. And once they are being converted into the usable form of it, then it can be released into the soil for the further formation of the protein. So that is how they will be making the proteins and all. Now, what is the role of leaf in photosynthesis? Photosynthesis, basically, they are called as the food factory because they prepare the food. They have the chloroplast. In the chloroplast, they have the chlorophyll in them. And chlorophyll is a site where the photosynthesis takes place. So this is how it will be there. And the leaves, they will have the stomatas. And the stomatas, they are responsible for the opening of the stomata and the closing of stomata. Opening of stomata means whenever the leaf they require the water, there will be the guard cells. So you can see in the picture also, they are the guard cells. These are the guard cells. So when the leaf they require the water, they open these guard cells. And when they open the guard cell, automatically the water will start entering into the stomata because they get open up. But as soon as when the water gets full here, they do not require the water. So what the guard cells will do, they will shut their door. And because when they shut their doors, when they close themselves, what happens? The stomatas will also get closed so that the further water cannot come inside. So stomata open into the small cavities inside the leaves. Stomatas are guarded by two kidney-shaped guard cells. In sunlight, water from surrounding cell diffuses into the guard cell, so the guard cell will become turgid. Turgid means they will swell. And when they swell, they get open and the water comes inside. And when the guard cell close, they get shrink and the water will remain outside. So their outer wall bulge out and inner wall drawn apart so that stomata widen and then open. Whereas for the closing of stomata, the water will diffuse out of the guard cell and the guard cell will become flaccid. Flaccid means it will shrink, and because of that, the stomata will get closed. Am I clear, children, with all these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So here some of the questions are also given, which are basically NCRT also, and apart from the NCRT, many question answers are there. I think I might have shared this file with you children earlier anytime. Aryan, Arya,
Yes.
Arav, and Aryan, you
Yes.
have many questions in this. Make sure that you read all the questions, whatever it is given here.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Practice them, and then if in case you have any kind of the doubt or any kind of the concern you have regarding that, you can let me know. Okay, I'll help you out. But make sure that you read it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have shared the file right away in the group, children. I want you all to open that file and read it right now, at least few pages of the question answers so that you can ask me the doubts.
Okay, ma'am.
Just open the file in your system or in your mobile phone, whatever you have,
Ma'am,
and
I
ask me
didn't
your doubts.
understand one keyword, ma'am. What does flaccid mean?
Ma'am,
Flaccid
where is
means
the link of that
shrinkage.
file?
Oh,
Shrinkage. Turgid means swelling. Flaccid means shrink. A charvi turgid means when something gets swell. So when something gets swell, they will be becoming very hard in nature.
Ma'am, like a swelling.
Swelling, see, in the case of the plants, we can use the word turgidity because they are hard in nature. But in the case of us, if we get the swelling, we cannot say we are turgid because we are not hard. Our body is soft, right? So only for the plants, we use the word turgidity and the flaccidity. Turgidity means when the cells get swell in the plants, and flaccid means when the cells of the plants get shrink.
Okay, ma'am.
Any doubt, children?
Ma'am, not yet.
But make sure, children, all of you should read this file by today and then ask me the doubts. It's very interesting. All the questions are a little different and a little twisted form or direct questions are also given some. So you can ask me, okay? No, if it is kept for a long time, then nothing, no problem at all. But what happens slowly and gradually, the cells of that particular leaf will start dying and they will stop responding towards the experiment. That is why we have to just keep it for minutes and then we have to remove it.
Ma'am, so does it like dissolve the chlorophyll in it, ma'am?
That's what the main function is, that only. So we are adding the alcohol to the leaf so that the color of the chlorophyll can remove. But your question was poured for a long time. In the case of the long time, it creates problems. The cell will die in the case.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, children, then do post me your doubts, okay?
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me, Aryan.
ma'am, I may not be able to send the PDF to you because I have back-to-back classes till 7, ma'am. And since 7 is available, I can take the class. So I don't think I'll be able to send the PDF.
Aryan, Arav, is it possible for you to share the data handling PDF so that I can ask the teacher to follow that? Yes, Arav and Arya, is it possible for you to send?
Sure, ma'am.
Just send it, okay? So that the same way how it is given in your book, I'll ask ma'am to go through that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.